Hello everyone, this is Layla. It's tax season here in Canada, and we are going to talk about how to file T1, that is income tax and benefits return, how to file it electronically, how to register on CRA, my account, T4 statement of remuneration paid slip, T2202 tuition and enrollment certificate, T4A statement of pension, retirement, annuity, and other income. Filing tax in Canada can be done in two ways, either manually or electronically. Can also be done by yourself or DIY through the assistance of tax expert. No one will remind you to file your tax. Always be aware that the due date of filing tax is every 30th of April. For example, if you are filing for the calendar year January 1, 2021 to December 31, 2021, due date will fall on the next year, April 30, which is the April 30, 2022. If you came to Canada December 30, 2021, and yet you say that you do not have yet income, still you have to file your tax return to avail of the tax benefits. As others had experienced that they had received 300 newcomer benefit, we will tackle this or talk about it later. By the way, I am an international student here in Canada, my first time filing a tax return. Others advise that for a first-timer, it is better to ask for tax expert assistance. Payment ranges from $20 and up, depending on how complex is your tax-related information. Then, the succeeding years, you can do it on your own. While I prefer to do it on my own, on my first time filing it, because for now, my tax data are very simple and can be easily filed. Maybe when I have the RRSP, the RESP, the RIF, the FSA, and other investment-related accounts, I might use the service of an expert. As for now, there are a lot of tax information that can be read or can be referred to from CRA website, which is the Canada Revenue Agency website. In the Philippines, we call it BIR, the Bureau of Internal Revenue. That's the counterpart. And also I encircled down below the three sentences that we have to take note on. All applicants must, or all applications must be made online because we're doing it in e-file. There is no fee for processing your application. Again, there is no fee for processing your application. Electronic filing of T1 returns requires the use of certified software products. So not all that you can see software on the internet, they are certified. So it's better to log in CRA website to check on the list of certified software products. But in here, I also put down the link wherein you can click that. The one that I used, I use Wealthsimple software in filing my income tax or tax return. Are you an international student studying in Canada? So this excerpt, we can see it from the link I will provide also so that you can see other details about it. If you are in Canada as an international student, it is important that you understand what your rights, entitlements, and obligations are under the Canada's tax system. It is your responsibility to determine your income tax status and make sure to pay your required amount of taxes for each year according to the law. Remember that I mentioned that you can hire the service of tax expert to do your tax return. And there are also other free services or tax clinics that you can look upon, and you can ask for assistance or help to how to file your tax. So just click this link and find those tax clinics which are near your area. Aside from federal tax, or in your home country, you might call it national tax, there's also another tax authority, which is the provincial. We call it the provincial tax or local tax. In this page, click the link of your province and you can read about the tax imposed on their particular place or your particular place of residence. For me, I clicked on Ontario. File your taxes online, certified tax software. We call it here the electronic filing as net file. So that is internet filing. So this is the list of free or pay what you want tax software. There are free services. They have also upgraded services wherein you can pay 20, 30, 50 or any suggested amount that you would like to give them. And then I chose the 7th line, which is the Wealthsimple tax online software service. So if you click that, once we click the link, we will be redirected to the wealthsimple.com website or homepage, and then we can start doing our tax. So click the Get Started. Let's sign up. Get started with Wealthsimple Tax by providing your email and password. Then you will going to receive an email. You have to verify your email address. Click that link. And there it says that Wealthsimple, hi there, thanks for signing up for Wealthsimple Tax. You're probably still working on your return, but we wanted to let you know we're here to help along the way. So that's good to hear. Okay, this year you can file in 3 ways. Add your personal details. 2 will help you import your tax information. I didn't do this one because I encoded it manually. I do not have yet the my CRA account, so I cannot yet import any tax information on other companies. And number 3, make the final touches to your return before you review and submit. Let's start with some details about you. Just the personal information. Put down your encode down your first name, middle name, last name, preferred name, and take note that make it a point. Whatever you used or encode in here should be the same name that was written in your social insurance number. So if in your SIN, when you filed your SIN, it's you only used your first name and last name without using your middle name, then you cannot use your middle name here. But if you filed it first name, middle name, and last name, you have to complete it, even though it says here it's an optional, because it will follow the SIN filing you've done before. Next is you have to provide your SIN number and then date of birth as according to the format, the year, month, and day. Where did you live and what was your marital status on December 31, 2021? Remember that we are filing for the tax period of the year 2021. So province or territory that you lived in here in Canada. As for me, it's Ontario. Marital status, if you're single or married or you have a common law partner, I think in the drop down, you can see those choices. Easily add your other tax information from the CRA. So connect to your CRA My Account. So it's very important that you're going to, or you can be able to create or register to a CRA My Account. This is one of the features that is provided in that account to autofill your return. Most of your other tax information like T4 and RRSP contributions will be added automatically. If you do not have yet, so there is a link here provided in the Wealthsimple website where you can register for my account. Scrolling down, there's another portion. Let's add your income tax slips. We can add all your slips to your return in one easy step, so it's easier to fill in the details. So it's highlighted here the T4 from your employer. So if you do not have yet an employment income for the year 2021, you can skip this for now. But if you have, you can click continue. Aside from the T4, you can choose other forms that you have for tax period 2021. As for me, I have also T4A, which is the pension, retirement, annuity, and other income. And I think I have also T2202, which is about tuition fees. There's also listed here T4E, employment insurance and other benefits, T4AP, CPP, QPP benefits. These are for pension benefit plan for Canada. The other one is in Quebec, the Q. T4A, OAS, which is old age security. If you are receiving an old age security or benefit, then you will have this form T4 RSP, T4 RIF, T3, T5, T5007, Statement of Benefits, T5008, Statement of Securities Transactions. And you can add these returns in your return. What other types of income did you have in 2021? So you can probably have these kinds of income. So capital gains or losses, you traded stocks or sold properties. Rental income, you rented out part of your home or other properties. Business income, you were self-employed. So you just have to click add to return. Or if you do not have, skip this. Let's start filing our tax. A while ago, we were talking about we encoded our name, middle name, and last name. Just make it sure that what was written in your SIN document is the same as the one you provided in here. And then you have your SIN number. You've already included that a while ago with your birth date. But there's an additional box. It says here when you're going to click the drop down menu, you can see that you have two choices. It's either English or French. So I chose English. Is this returned for a deceased person? No, I'm not. I'm very alive. So I said no. And take note also that on the left side, it says refund is 0 because we are not yet encoding anything. Down below that portion about your personal information, you can see the net file access code. For the 2021 tax year prior to filing your tax return electronically, you will be asked to enter an access code. This code does not apply to you if you are filing your tax return for the first time. I will repeat it again. For the first timer who's filing this year, this code does not apply to you if you are filing your tax return for the first time. Your unique access code can be found on your NOAA or your Notice of Assessment for a previous tax year. This 8-character access code is made up of numbers and letters and is located on the right side of your NOAA. The placement and labeling of the access code differs slightly depending on the version of NOAA you are looking at, but will always be on the right side of the Notice of Assessment. On the paper version of your NOAA as well as the PDF version, in my account, the access code is not labeled, but can be found directly underneath the date issued at the top right of the page. If you are viewing your NOAA in My Account or using the Express NOAA service in certified tax software, the access code is found directly under the Notice Details box at the top right of the page. The access code is very important because you can use this access code in accessing your My Account or My CRA account. You will have to enter your access code after your name, date of birth, and social insurance number. While this access code is not mandatory, if you do not enter your access code, you will not be able to use any information from your previous tax filing. So you will have to rely on other information for authentication purposes. So this box that says net file access code. Since you do not have yet, or I do not have yet a previous tax information, I am not required to put anything in this box. This page is very important. So make it sure that what you had encoded in here are true and correct. The Canadian mailing address, because the security code that you are going to use in accessing your CRA My account will be mailed here. And also, if you did not opted to or opt to avail the uh, electronic transfer or electronic receiving of your refund, the check for the refund will be mailed in this address. So what do we have here? So you just have to encode the unit, the street number, street name, the city you're living in, the province or the territory, your postal code. Postal code is very important, and of course your home telephone number. This information, I really need it. It says new immigrants to Canada. Detailed rules relating to immigration are explained in CRA Newcomers to Canada pamphlet. So you can download it from here. It's your responsibility to properly report your taxable Canadian income and allowable deductions and credits. We don't provide tax advice and won't respond to tax questions about immigration. If you don't feel comfortable preparing your tax or your return, we recommend you obtain professional advice this year, and we hope to see you again in next year. So that's the Wealthsimple test. It's their statement. Income. Generally speaking, for the part of the year you were resident in Canada, you need to report your world income. World income is explained in great detail in the pamphlet, so just click that link. For the part of the year you were not resident in Canada, you need to report income from employment in Canada or from a business carried on in Canada. Taxable capital gains from disposing of taxable Canadian property and taxable part of the scholarship, bursaries, fellowships, and research grants you receive from Canadian sources, unless these amounts were exempt pursuant to a treaty. Deductions. Whether or not you are allowed to claim certain deductions is outlined in the booklet. Credits. The pamphlet lists the credits you are allowed to claim in full as long as they apply to the part of the year you were resident in Canada. Wealthsimple tax will automatically prorate the other non-refundable tax credits for you if applicable. So click OK once you have already the knowledge required in here. Remember that there are two taxing authorities here in Canada, the federal and the provincial. So I believe that the minimum tax taxed by federal is the 15% and the marginal tax for provincial is about 10%. So they do differ. That's why it actually differs from province to province, while the federal is for all. So whatever place you're here in Canada. So you're being taxed the same tax rate, progressive tax rate. So about your residence, in which province or territory did you live in on December 31, 2021? So it's Ontario. If your province or territory of residence changed in 2021, enter the date of your move. Since I did not move, I leave it blank. Is your home address the same as your mailing address? Yes. In which province or territory do you currently live? That's it. That's the place. Did you become a resident of Canada for tax purpose in 2021? Yes. Learn more about filing a Canadian tax return as a new immigrant. So that was the previous slide a while ago. So do you agree that this is your responsibility to properly report your income, allowable credits, and deductions? Of course, it's yes. Date of entry, that's the time we entered here. We arrived here in Canada, so just put it down there. So Canadian source income, that will be on the next page. Okay, how to fill out these boxes for the part of the year you weren't resident of Canada. What was your Canadian source income? In the first row or first box, enter any Canadian source incomes that you earned before you became resident in Canada. So before you came here as a resident in Canada, had you have any source of income, Canadian source of income, you probably have investment here. Well, you were not here, so just put it there. And then the second box says enter all foreign source income that you earned before you became resident in Canada. You probably have earnings from your home country, from the other country except from Canada. So just encode it there. If during the part of the year that you weren't resident in Canada, you earned Canadian source income that was subject to withholding tax, include the income in the second row. This portion for the single filer, you don't need to fill this portion. As for those people who have common law partner or spouse, you have to fill it in and consider it to file it together. Should we prepare our returns together? That's the question. We recommend you link your returns because Wealthsimple Tax will maximize your refunds by optimizing who claims what. It's faster since we already have the information the CRA needs from your partner's return. And it's easier because you don't need to learn all the tax rules about who must claim what. However, you can't link your returns if you don't want to use some Wealthsimple tax account. Don't exchange financial information if you and your partner or your spouse have this agreement that your financial information are secret for both of you. So no disclosure of confidential information, something like that. Live in a different province or country, or want to file your return at a different times of the year. So you don't want to do it together, so let it be. But I think it is more advisable that if everything seems to be normal, then do it together. So we've linked your tax returns. Your return is now linked to your partner's return because I chose to file it together. You can access your partner's return from the sidebar, the menu bar, or the account page. So I think this is very advantageous because you can see how much your partner is earning as well as his deductions. This portion is about you and your family. So marital status on December 31, married, divorced, legally separated. So just choose among them. Do you want to prepare your return together? I opted to say yes. Your partner's name. Did your marital status change in 2021? As for me, no. Do you have any dependents? I have. Did you have any children in shared custody? You can say yes or no in here. Information about custody arrangement and your benefits. Remember that in the previous page that we have a question if we have a child custody arrangement, yes or no. If you said yes, you have to meet this criteria. If a child only lives with you part-time, you need to determine if you are considered to have a shared custody. Determine if you have shared custody, does the child spend their time about equally between both parents, mostly with you, mostly with the other parent. So there is this criteria wherein you can click them and see if you're qualified to have the child custody benefit. If you start or end sharing custody situation, let the CRA know that your situation also changed. How to fill this portion of miscellaneous? Did you own or hold specific foreign property where the total cost amount of such property at any time in the year was more than 100,000 Canadian dollar in 2021? If it's just click yes or no here. Did you dispose of your principal residence in 2021? You can say or choose yes or no. Remember that the principal residence will have no capital gains in tax. If it's the secondary residence, I think it will have an impact on taxations. Are you filing an income tax return with the CRA for the first time? Yes or no? For me, yes. Are you a Canadian citizen? No. Are you a person registered under the Indian Act? So I am not Indian. I am a Filipina, so this is a no. But if in case I have an Indian blood, still the answer is no. Because I think the Indian Act here, it pertains to the indigenous people who lived here in Canada. Were you confined to a prison for a period of 90 days or more in 2021? And says it's no. About Ontario Trillium benefit. Will you or your spouse apply for the Ontario Trillium benefit? I click yes. Just a trivia. The name Trillium benefit came from the Trillium plant or the flower, which is shown here, and also it's being used as a symbol of the Ontario Trillium benefit. Okay, it's an additional information for us. So the web page that I also indicated in here, you can use that in order to see most of the details about the Ontario Trillium benefit. So why are they Trillium? I think because there are three benefits. So we have the first one, Ontario Energy and Property Tax Credit. If you have or you own a property here in Canada and you are of course obliged to pay property tax, then you will receive an Ontario Energy and Property Tax Credit. So it's a tax benefit. Northern Ontario Energy Credit. And of course, we have also the Ontario Sales Tax Credit. Later on, we can see the definitions of these three. Okay, let's fill this portion. Climate Action Incentive, say yes. Ontario Trillium Benefit, of course, yes. CRA My Account, are you registered for CRA My Account? Not yet, so it's no. Online Mail, plan for 2023. The CRA will start the process of switching to electronically providing a notice of assessment or your NOAA. Remember the NOAA that we discussed before. You will receive your NOAA or your notice of assessment electronically through your NetFile software or through my account by providing your email address. So in here, I choose to sign up and provided my email. So it's very easy for me. Information will flow easily if we have it electronically. Build your return. So you can see this portion also in the Wealthsimple as you scroll down. Autofill your return. We do not have yet that access. Find income tax form. So if in the list that was provided before that you still have other forms which is not in the list yet, then you can search it from here. Okay, manage your tax forms. Since we are filing it together, spouse or common law partner, newcomers to Canada, how much is this income? So you can see it in here because as well as you can see your return. And then it says tax situation. Does he have or she have any infirmity or disability? No. Check here if you can claim the amount for partner on line 30, 300. You'll find it out when you're going to download in a PDF format your tax return. Did you live together for 2021 for that year? Yes, amounts transferred from your partner. So Wealthsimple is doing this kind of managing your tax in order for your tax or to maximize your tax benefits. Unused amounts to line 32, 600 of your tax return. Check here if you don't want to transfer this amount. But of course, they will still ask you if you agree or not. Okay. This part is for your dependent. As for me, I included or encoded the first name and the last name. The relationship is she's my child. Date of birth, SIN number. No, they don't have yet SIN number. We were told that in the office that they will have or they will acquire an SIN number once they will be PR or their status will change from temporary resident to PR. Net income, she's not working, so it's 0. Did she have an infirmity or disability? No. If you're going to say yes, then I think there will be an additional box wherein you have to provide what are the disability or infirmity because Canadian government is or welfare will going to provide you a benefit for that child. Tax credits for your child. Did you have any adoption expenses? Had you made any adoption during the previous year? Had you incurred any expenses from that process of adoption? If yes, just click yes in here and I think there will be other boxes for you to fill it or fill out. As for me, I did not make any of that such expenses, so I said no. Claim the Ontario amount for dependent children. Yes, of course, claim it if eligible. Child care expenses. My kids are already adult, or I mean, they don't need childcare services anymore. So I said no. But if your kids are still young and you have childcare expenses, um, you have to include it in here. So tuition fee transferred from your dependents, no. Okay, climate action incentive. This section is shared with the spouse or the common law partner. New for 2021, remember that in the beginning of my discussion is that as for newcomers, before they are experiencing 300 bucks or 300 refund through their tax return, they are receiving as a newcomer for each newcomer that comes here in Canada. So if you are four in the family, so you're going to receive 300 times four. So that was before. Now the climate action incentive is new for 2021. The climate action incentive benefit is no longer added to your tax return. It will be paid as a quarterly benefit starting in July 2022. So it's really a must. You have to file your tax on or before April 30 so that you can experience this benefit in July 2022. And excuse me, there is another one, which is 10% supplement for residents of small and rural communities. So you're going to have on top of this a 10% additional benefit if you live in small or rural community. So you can see this different list like Ottawa, Kingston, Toronto. These places, metropolitan areas, if you live in here, you do not belong in the small or rural community. So you cannot avail of the 10%. Okay, this is the most awaited part wherein we have to or we can encode the T4. T4 is the document. It is the representation or summation of your work done in 2021. That's the document on the right side. The document or the form in the left side is the employment income, which is in the Wealthsimple page. Okay, the T4 statement of remuneration paid. So it's just a mirror of those two documents. Example, the employer's name, we can refer it on the T4 from the employer as the company. So write down your employer's name and write down the company. That's it. On number 10 box, you can see also on T4 from your employer, ON, that is Ontario. So there's a drop down and Wealthsimple box number 10, ON. So just click that. CPP, EI, and PPIP, they are clear, no check mark, so don't do anything. And then we have a box of 14 that is 2400, just encoded in the left side form, 2400. And what else? We have also number 16 box. So fill it in 105.48. And then what else? We have number 18. So number 18 is in that left box number 18. That is 45.12. So if you want to see what are those boxes are, just hover over the number and you'll see what box they are. Although there's also a representation or description on the T4 that came from your employer. After that, let's go to the other column, which is number 22 or box 22, amounting to 289.4. So find it out on the other side, fill it in, and then 24 also. Box 24 is 20. Box 24 and box 26, they are both the same amount of 2400. And what about the other boxes on your T4? If in case there are other benefits or other deductions or other income that were included in your T4 by your employer, then you can click that box. Okay, the box, the word box, click it and enter the number. So if it's number 97, and then it will give you the description and then just encode the amount. Okay, in here, tuition and education amounts. You may be eligible to claim a tax credit if you attended a post-secondary program. Were you as post-secondary student in 2021? The answer is yes. So enter the type of slip, that is T2202, the name of the program or course encoded in here, the tuition fee amount. If you are a part-time student, how many months? If you are a full-time student, how many months? So I think it was for 8 months for 2021 period. If you enrolled in 2021 in not just one um, institution or educational institution, then you can add another slip. Do you have a disability or impairment that prevents you from enrolling on a full-time basis? No. Earlier years, were you a post-secondary student in earlier year? No. Canada training credit. Your 2021 Canada training credit limit, you can see this in NOAA, the Notice of Assessment. Since I do not have the NOAA because it's my first time to file, therefore it's 0. Tuition fee transferred, I used the maximum amount of 5,000, transferred it to my partner. We are nearing the latter part of our tax return. So Wealthsimple here is giving us an option or also an assistance to review and optimize our tax return. So just read them. You can click the X box, or you can click the link, or go to the return, that portion wherein you can see whatever it is that says there's a mistake, or there's a warning that there's a missing information, there's a wrong information. So you have to return on that return. So you have to go back. And then there are suggestions down below. You can check them also. Okay, this information is very valuable, and most of the parents of who are newcomer here, they would like to avail of the RESP, which is the Registered Education Savings Plan for the kids, because this has a counterpart, a guaranteed or granted amount from the government. So it's a very good savings plan for us. It's a tax break for parents also, to have an educational fund for the kids with government funding on the side. But what are the requirements to have RESP? I included in here because it's related to our tax return. So if we are newcomer here and it's our first time to file, so one of the requirements of RESP is that we have already filed tax return. Number 2 is that we have stayed here in Canada for 18 months. So I don't think that all of the financial institutions are like that. They might differ in somehow in some criteria, but the idea is like that. So those are the 2 criteria that we have to consider if we are thinking about availing of RESP for our kids. You have seen that in the previous pages that we have filled out, the boxes that we've provided information. So that's already our tax return. And if we file that, we can file it for free. And in here, this portion, it says, need help on your tax return? We've already done it. But if in case you're not too confident if it's correct or not, you can upgrade to get extra support like live advice from a tax expert who can review your return for accuracy before you file. So you can get this also from Wealthsimple. Okay, so I'm ready to submit. Go to submit. And then you will be prompted to this page wherein it says summary, optimizations, filing with a partner has benefits. We've optimized your tax return to get you a maximum combined refund, credits and deductions. You may change or lock in your preferred amounts. You and your partner combined refund is this much amount. So I just cover it up for confidentiality. So here is the breakdown of the tax returns for both spouses. So the refund, we had a refund for the spouse 1 and spouse 2, and then the summary spreadsheet, the benefits of by clicking remember the Trillium, And the climate benefit. So this we have the GST, HST quarterly amount, climate action incentive quarterly amount, so entire Trillium benefit and the Canada child benefit because I have kids. So this is the summary of it. As I've mentioned before that there are explanations about GST and HST credit. GST is the gross sales tax and HST is the harmonized credit sales tax and related provincial benefits. So this is estimates only in July. The CRA will send you the notice with the actual amounts and payment schedule. So after CRA had made the assessment of your tax return that you just had filed to them, so that will be the time you can have the exact amount for this quarterly benefit. This amount does not include any provincial child benefits you may be eligible for the year. So GST, HST is different from your child's benefit. So for the climate action incentive in July, the CRA will send you a notice with the actual amount and payment schedule. Payments are made in July, October, and January, so it's 3 times in a year. The credit will be paid for the partner whose return is assessed first. Wow, who's going to assess first? My spouse or me? Your July payment will actually be greater than your October and January payments because it will include payment for April and July. So because it's quarterly and in July it will reflect the 2 quarters, that's why it's bigger than the next succeeding quarters. You may have noticed that your refund was a little lower this year than those last year. It's likely because this credit is no longer included directly on your return and will be paid throughout the year. Ontario Trillium benefit, including sales tax credit. This amount is estimate. So again, after this CRA made the assessment, they will give you an exact amount if you have a linked partner. The sales tax credit portion of the Trillium benefit will display in both your returns. However, only one of you will receive this amount. Ooh, we're not supposed to be greedy. If the amount is less than 30, you will not receive monthly payments. Instead, you'll receive the entire credit in one payment in July 2022 if you have elected to receive the amount in one payment in June 2023. You will not receive monthly payments. If you turn 18 because July 2023, you should start receiving the monthly credits, the amount after, blah, blah, blah. So just read it. Let's look on Canada Child Benefit monthly amount. This is an estimate. Again, it's an estimate. Exact amount will be provided after the issuance of the notice of assessment. This amount does not include any provincial child benefits you may be eligible. Remember that we have federal tax and also we have the provincial tax. If we are being taxed by both authorities, therefore we can also avail of benefits from both of them. We can have federal benefits and also for the provincial benefit. As was stated here, this amount does not include any provincial. It's a provincial, okay? Does not include provincial child benefits you may be eligible for. You can use the CRA calculator for an estimate of your provincial benefit. So it differs. Situations which may change the estimated CCB amount includes these changes, as well as if your child turns 18 before July 1. Oh, so good that my kids are not yet 18. No, if you don't receive this credit because your child, other parent receive it, ignore this row. This row does not mean you are applying for the CCB. You must apply directly with CRA to receive this benefit. Information about how to apply can be found here. So click the link. You only need to apply for this benefit once per dependent, but you must file your tax return every year. Okay, this is the summary of the documents that we have submitted or worked on, including the schedules, the forms and schedules. If you want to see them one by one or the line item for this, just click on the arrow. Because I'm too meticulous, what I did is that I save the file or the return in a PDF form and then review it one more time before I click the submit tax return. In here, once you click the submit the tax return, it will prompt you this information or this box. It says confirm your information before you submit your T1 return to CRA. Please confirm the following. So you're filing for the year 2021. That is correct. Your name, your birth date, your SIN. Check it if it's correct or not. Then if it's not, you have to return on the information sheet again to correct it. And then total income, check it in your, you remember that you have already printed out a PDF form of your tax return. So check it from there and also the refund. And if you're comfortable with it, confident that everything is correct, just click I have read and agreed, then submit the return. Once I've done that, I had this error. Submit tax return. There was a problem submitting your return. How to fix this? So it has this suggestion. So what is the mistake that I have done? Because when I check it, remember that I reiterated in the first part of our discussion that when I tried submitting my return, I think I used the name, first name, middle name, and last name in the personal information boxes. And then it doesn't go through in submitting. And when I check my SIN document, it says that it's only indicated there that my first name and my last name. So what I did is that I removed my middle name, and then when I tried submitting it, it went through. Success! Your T1 return was submitted to the Canada Revenue Agency. If you sign up for direct deposit, that is, you signed up in your bank. So there are a lot of banks that have these features of direct deposit, CRA direct deposit. So you just have to fill that out or assign CRA to have a direct deposit. You should receive your refund within 2 weeks. Checks can take up to 4 to 6 weeks. And then we have an information here, the estimated refund that you're going to receive. This is not final because CRA will still need to assess if what you had filed is correct or not. And then submission date, the confirmation number. And then there will be a box after you click the continue, pay what you want. It says everything should be, or in here, if you want to have it in free, it's okay, it's all good. But if you want to share, because the platform that we use right now is very easy to fill in or to work on, then you can donate or support the website or the software provider. Okay, thank you for your support, it says in there. And then back to return, you can also download your submitted return in a PDF format. Check the status of your return. The fastest way to check the status of your return or refund is through your CRA My account. You can find your most recent tax return status on the overview page. You can see more details by clicking go to tax return. If you click this link, make sure you're looking at the correct row. The CRA My account system also displays the status of your 2022 return. You can also check by phone and just read along the line. Okay, when to expect your refund from the CRA? The average processing time for a return depends on how you submitted it. If it's online, about 2 weeks. If it's on paper, about 8 weeks. So just be mindful of those time period. That's for the information. See the CRA. Since we want to create or register for my CRA account, I click on the CRA website. So I was redirected here and then click agree. Here's what you'll need to sign up with the CRA. Your SIN number, basic details like birth date and postal code, a copy of your recent tax return such as T1 or notice of assessment. Remember, in registering, you have to have your T1 submitted already. But if you did not, I just submitted it, no assessment yet made, let's see what will going to happen if I'm going to click get started. We are in the CRA website. Sign into a CRA account. That green box, click it, and then the next boxes or the next page, you're going to see three choices: my account, my business account, represent a client. So I'll click my account. Validate your identity. Since I have my SIN number, I encoded in the box. I click next, and voila, it has an error, ERR.210. We cannot proceed with your request. Contact us for help. So I did call the CRA hotline and asked for assistance. It says, or the customer service that the agent that answered me on my call is, she said that I cannot yet have, or I cannot yet register for my CRA account because I still need to wait for the assessment, my tax assessment. So after a while, I think 1 or 2 weeks, I received, no, not just, maybe a few days after my submission, I received emails that there was a change in my address, there was a change in my marital status. So I was kind of shocked that I didn't change anything in my profile. So how come there is a change, or there were changes? What I did is that I called again CRA hotline and asked if there was a hack being done in my account, or if there was a spam or anything, a virus or a threat on my personal information. The CRA call center agent told me that there's nothing wrong with my account. So she told me that it's normal because I came from another country and it's my first time coming here. So she said that there's a change of address. She told me to try to log it in here while she is on the other side of the line. So I tried accessing again the website of CRA, click on my account. We have here three choices or option. Option 1, using one of our sign-in partners. So those are the banks or the financial institution that if you have account with them, you can sign using those accounts. Number 2 option is using a CRA user ID and password, so you can register in the CRA. Okay. Option 3, using a provincial partner, which I do not know how this works. So I opted to choose the option 2. So I click CRA register. Okay, remember this when I just submitted my return and then I tried logging in here. It says there's an error, ERR.210. Let's try putting in my encoding my SIN number. After I did that, let's see what happened. Okay, it's a good thing that there's no more error. Validate your identity and continue. So SIN number, is this your SIN number? If you live outside Canada or US, you must enter different information. So we have the postal code, just fill it in, your date of birth, tax information, amount entered in line 10, 100. I had downloaded the PDF form of the tax that I filed through a Wealthsimple, and I searched on that line of 10, 100. And then I encoded the amount in here. You don't need to encode the decimal point, so just round off. So everything that should be encoded here is whole amount. Then click next. CRA security code notification. If you need to update your address or direct deposit information with the CRA, or if you would like to take advantage of the other services offered in this account, you will need to enter a security code. So the security code is very important to avail of the most promising features of this account. As a security measure, we will mail your CRA security code to the address you have on record with the CRA. You should receive it within 10 days. If you are blind or partially sighted, you can ask to receive your personal correspondence from the CRA in an alternative format. So click next. Verification current postal code or zip code. A CRA code is not required to apply for COVID-19 emergency support payment for individual in my account. So if you do not yet receive your security code and you would like to avail of the COVID-19 emergency support, you can do that. You don't have to wait for the security code. Once you have completed this process, you should receive your CRA security code by mail within 10 days. We will mail it to the address you had provided. If you are blind, again, those are the notes we've already read before. So click one of this. I confirm that this code is my current postal code. Or no, this is not my current postal code, and you will be asked to provide the correct one. And then click next. Create CRA user ID and password. So these are the guidelines in creating your user ID as well as your password. I will not read them one by one. You can, for your eyes, only that you can already understand this. After you have decided your username and your password, then you just have to hit next button. Create security questions and answers. There are actually 5 of them. I only was able to capture 1 to 3. So in making your or choosing your question, just make sure that they are the easy one because there are 5 of them. So each time you're going to enter or log into your CRA My account, you will be asked different questions. So you have 5 choices of questions. Just be smart in choosing them. An overview of your CRA account. So support payment. You have limited access because we did not yet receive the security code through post mail. So we have to wait for that in order to have a complete access of the My CRA account. And if you're going to drag it down or scroll down, you're going to see the next page. Email notification. You are registered. Remember, we registered for a email correspondence. We provided our email, so it's a good thing we've done that because we can be easily notified by CRA instead of waiting for a couple of weeks or days for the post mail to come to our house of residence. Our tax return, the tax return of 2021 was already assessed, so it was fast. Just a few days and it was already assessed. Your notice of assessment will be available to view on this particular date. So it's in here. I just bar it for viewing because I cannot view it for now because I still have to wait for the security code for me to access my CRA account. And then there is no record of an application for COVID-19 support. And that is true. That's correct also. RRSP deduction limit is 0 because I'm still not qualified. And then 2022 TFSA contribution room for January 1, 2022 is 12,000. Computed, I think, coming from year 2021. Which was the time that I came here in Canada, so that's 6,000, and then 6,000 room for 2022. In total, I have a room of about 12,000 Canadian dollar for me to invest in TFSA. Okay, and the next we have making a payment. If in case I will not have a refund and then I have a tax owed to the government or tax due, I have to fill this out. How to make payment. Pay by pre-authorized debit. So just have to read them to make payment at a financial institution in Canada or to mail a payment to the CRA, request a remittance voucher. Once you log out in your CRA My account, make sure that you also press the exit button. You have successfully closed your secure session with the CRA if you exit this one, okay? Remember that we have 3 options for creating my CRA account, and I chose option 2. So option 1 is this, select sign-in partners. So these are the a list of partners or financial institution that had a partner with CRA. So if you were doing business with these entities or with this institution, then you can use your access account. Example, if you're doing, if you have an account at CIBC, then you can use your CIBC account in registering or creating an account in my CRA account. For illustration purpose, this is a CIBC account wherein you can see that under the customer services, then account services, down below you can see set up direct deposit with Canada Revenue Agency. So if you are expecting a return, you can set up a direct deposit so that your refund will be deposited in this account. Thank you. Kindly subscribe, share, comment. Be safe and stay healthy. I hope you had learned something from this discussion. Till next time.